Good evening. Welcome to South Summit High School. Last home game, regular season game of the year for South Summit as the Millard Eagles are in town. Thanks for joining us tonight on South Summit Athletics, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast tonight. Jeremy Fierro will be joining me soon. This is Cody Bowen, and we're glad that you tuned in tonight for the last home game of the regular season. We'll be having a playoff game in a couple weeks, hopefully with a win tonight. And the region championship at stake tonight as South Summit is taking on a tough Millard Eagle team who comes in at 5-3 overall on the year. South Summit, as you know, 7-1, ranked number 1 in the state and leading the Region 2A North undefeated at 5-0. So a lot on the line tonight as South Summit tries to secure a first seed in this region, a first round bye, and host a home game into the South Summit playoff system in about 2 weeks from now. So South Summit's had a great year, as you know, had some big wins, had some really tough loss against Morgan, which I don't think was a bad thing for them as they were able to refocus quickly, had a good win last week against a tough North Summit team on the road. And so as they approach tonight's game, a lot on the line, and seniors tonight playing their last season home game, 18 or 19 of them, I believe. I'll go over those names as the night progresses. But should be an exciting game. Millard comes in, a big ground attack, always has been a good attack from the Millard Eagles. They are led by running back Derek Brunson, who carries the load for the majority of those running plays. Their senior quarterback, Skylar Cranny, also doing the running as well for Millard. They've played this region tough, having lost 2 games. They've lost to North Summit and Summit Academy, both tough games. And so it could be the best home game of the year thus far at South Summit football. In the region standings so far, South Summit is, as you know, leading the region and followed closely by Summit Academy at 4-1. And Summit at 3-2, Millard at 3-2. Layton Christian 2-3, Gunnison 1-4, and American Bishop 0-6. So South Summit could go 6-0 tonight with a big win. If Millard were to happen to win, they could fall into a second-place tie with Summit Academy loss and North Summit, they win as well. So as you know, a lot of things can happen in high school football. And tonight we hope that things go as planned and South Summit come out, play well, and should be able to get a good win. They play well. As you see these 4 seniors come to do the coin toss, we're getting close to kickoff. Still ranked number 1 as in the state, South Summit, and it's going to make for some good 2A playoffs. San Juan is ranked number 2, and they have not lost the game. They're sitting at 8-0, ranked number 2 in the state. We don't have a lot to go this year in terms of crossover, other than we've beaten some teams. They've beaten some good teams in their region, and could be a crash course for those 2 teams again. South Summit ranked number 1 at 7-1. San Juan 8-0 at ranked number 2. Academy 7-1, ranked 3. And ranked 4th at 6-2. And North Summit is ranked 5th currently with a 6-2 record as well. So big night, senior night, and a historic night for many of these young men as the years go by quickly. And I'm sure many of these boys, if not all of them, go, I can't believe it's all over. But a few more weeks of football left. We hope about 1 more month where we're sitting in Cedar City ready to take on another 2A state championship. So thanks for joining. We're going to take a break as we get close to honoring America with the Star Spangled Banner. We'll have a great game in store in about 3 minutes from now. We'll talk to you then. We're moments away from kickoff here at South Summit. Another beautiful night for mid-October. Nice and warm and beautiful evening to be able to play one last night under the lights here on a Wednesday night, as you know, instead of a Friday night with the fall break coming the next 2 days. And 4-day weekend coming. Hopefully we can get it off to a good start tonight with a nice, well-played ball game. South Summit has been potent on offense as well as a very stiff defense. Been hampered a bit by penalties. Hopefully a clean, well-played game this evening. And hopefully we'll get a little bit of a test to get us primed up for the playoff season. And I think Millard always is a tough team, and we'll be able to do that tonight. South Summit will be kicking off to start the game, and Harley Georgie always has a good leg, and we'll see if he can get it into the end zone. The kickoff's up. It's high and deep, and it's going to be taken in the end zone, so they'll bring it out to the 20 where Millard will start at their own 20, 1st and 10, with the first offensive series of the ball game. And Millard and South Summit has quite a history in football, have met many times in the playoffs, always seem to have a pretty good rivalry. And so ought to be a good reenactment of that rivalry tonight as Millard is in town, and they're trimmed in all white with those dark blue helmets, led by senior quarterback Skylar Cranny, number 11. And we'll see what kind of set they come out in. They come into a two-back set, two wide to the right, one to the left. Kind of a staggered back with one to his right and one behind him. He's going to start in a shotgun. Seems to be the trend in high school football. A lot of teams starting in that shotgun. He'll start nonetheless. And Cranny's first play is going to be a pass. He's trying to air it out. The lefty, he's got a man, but inside it's picked off. Nice play there by Halen Rockhill as he stepped right inside. He's back to the 30, 25. He's got a chance, and he's down to the 15. Halen Rockhill, beautiful play as he jumped in front of the receiver heading down the field, returned it about 35, 40 yards. And a great way to start this ball game as Halen Rockhill immediately put South Summit in business at the Millard 15-yard line. Good way to start the game, Jeremy.
That was a beautiful, beautiful play. What a great read by the defensive back there. He saw that coming the whole way. Jumped right in front of it, right into his chest.
And caught the ball, which is always nice. All right, Jones with his first pass of the night. He's got a man. It's caught, and he's going to be drugged down at the 3-4 yard line. Beautiful touch pass there by Ty Jones. There is a flag in the backfield, and we'll see what it is. And I still haven't gotten a read on what the penalty was. And so we'll see. It looks like South Summit is coming back. It looks like an illegal shift on South Summit. So unfortunately, a good play from the Wildcats nullified by, is what we talked about, occasionally hampered by some penalties. And on their first offensive play, get a little too much movement on the snap. And it'll be now 1st and 15 for South Summit. That's going to put the ball back at about the 21, 20-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 15 for South Summit. Had a little rollout pass for Jones on that first play, coming out with a pass. We'll see what they come as Isaac in motion, and a lot of movement as South Summit goes on 2 count, and they get 3 or 4 Millard Eagles to jump across. That'll give them the 5 yards back, so we'll start again, 1st and 10 at the 15, 16-yard line. So a lot of stuff happening before South Summit's able to get things rolling here offensively. 2 penalties in a row after the big interception by Halen Rockhill. Santos wide to the right as Tillett gets the pitch right. He's got a little room. He's across the 15, cuts it back. He's got a chance. He'll get close to the first down as he's tripped up just inside the 5-yard line. He's going to be real close with about a 10-yard gain. We'll see where the spot is. And still haven't decided. Looks like it's going to be 2nd down. They haven't dropped the yardage markers there, so it looks like about 2nd and a half a yard, ball just inside the 6-yard line.
That was a nice stiff arm there by Tillett, breaking to the outside there, pick up a couple extra yards.
He's quick, cut it back well, broke a tackle or two, tripped up as Jones now looks left. He's trying the slant. There's a man, and it's Tillett. No.
Bounced right off his chest
bounced
there.
right off him. It looked like for a minute we're having a hard time seeing as it's a little bit dark out there, but Tillett unable to bring the pass in from Jones, and I thought the official thought about raising his arms, then saw the ball come out, so it'll be now 3rd and about a half a yard. So Halen Rockhill brings in the play for the Wildcats. It'll be third and very short. Probably ought to be a Colby Averett hard run right up the middle. We'll see what Coach Parker decides to go to with all these weapons. And he does go to Averett, and Averett's going to pick up the first down, gets tripped up as he falls forward, gets the ball down to the 2-yard line. It'll be first and goal, South Summit. What a good weapon to have in that backfield when you need a good tough yard deep in the opponent's territory. Hand off to the 2A MVP. He breaks a tackle, always seems to fall forward, and he gets the first down. First and goal for South Summit. And it'll be a good chance here for South Summit to score. All right, at the 2-yard line. And Jones pitches left. He's got Santos. Santos has got a chance to sneak in, and he does. Bracken Santos with the touchdown as he comes in motion from the left, gets the pitch from Ty Jones, and cut it back, sneaks across. It's a 6-0 lead for South Summit.
That was the entire offensive line there, pulling to the left, and Santos just got this tiptoe right in there behind him untouched.
Had several places he could cut that back. It's almost like he said, which one of these good holes do I want to take? Slipped in behind a good South Summit lineman. It's a 6-0 lead as Harley Georgie gets the snap down. The kick is up. It's good. It's a 7-0 lead to start off this first quarter. 10-16 left. Wildcats leading by a touchdown. $10-16 left, first quarter. Jeremy Fierro, Cody Bowen bringing you the last home game of South Summit football as Harley Georgie back to kick off as South Summit gets the nice field position on the interception by Halen Rockhill. Georgie boots another one deep into the end zone, and we'll start again. South Summit pinning Millard back into the 20-yard line, and Millard on its first play tried to air out a long pass, ended up going to Halen Rockhill on a nice play. Return that ball inside the 20 for the Millard Eagles down in their own territory, and South Summit bangs it in with Averett Santos carrying the load right there, as well as Tillett, and South Summit's out to an early 7-0 lead. So Cranny for the Eagles. Left-handed quarterback, has a pretty good arm as they send in motion number 14, Ruvakalba, and they get the first handoff of the game, and that handoff goes to
like number 20.
Number
for the
20,
Eagles.
Derek Brunson, a junior running back. Has close to 900 yards on the season. Gets a lot of carries, well over 100 and something carries on the year. So he carries a big part of the load for Millard. He doesn't pick up much. In fact, he loses about a half a yard. Ball's just inside the 20, about the 19 and a half. It'll bring up second and a short 11.
Good tackle there by Colby Averett.
And this time Cranny's going to roll to his right. He's got a man, and it's out to the 25. He's hit immediately by number 10, Bracken Santos. Ball's caught. It's going to be marked. His forward progression will take him out to the 25-yard line. Nice little play there by Millard. Going to pick up about half of what they need. It'll bring up 3rd and 5 from the 25. Good footwork there by Cranny of Millard. He's a left-handed quarterback and rolled to his right. Had to turn a bit to put that ball and put it right on the money. Nice catch. And it'll be now 3rd and 5 for Millard. Looks like we got a temporary officials timeout. And we'll see what the holdup is.
Little equipment malfunction there for Santos, I think.
Okay, as they're kind of huddling around as Bracken's trying to get his helmet worked out. And looks like he's got it secured. So, big play here for Millard. Certainly, Millard does not want to give the ball up twice in a row deep in their own territory. So a 3rd and 5 for the Eagles. This time under center. In motion goes Ruvalcaba. And now they're going to keep, and he's going to, nope, hands off it up the middle. Good deception there by Cranny as they hand off up the middle, but only for a yard to Brunson. And Brunson is going to come up short, 4 yards short. It's going to be 4th and 4 at the 26. So a little option there play by Cranny as he handed off, tried to maneuver outside, trying to drag a linebacker or two with him. South Summit holds tough on the D, and so it'll be 4th and 4. Back to receive for South Summit, Tillett and Santos. And the kick is a good kick. It's high up under end. Santos catches it on the run. He's up to the left, tries to cut back. Good coverage there by Millard. 4-5. Millard Eagles surround Santos, keep him from getting much of a return. And South Summit will take over in their own territory this time. Ball's at the 44-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10.
That was a great kick there by Paco Alcala, number 41 for the Eagles. He had some good hang time on that and gave his team some time to get up there and have some good coverage.
Santos generally, when he catches that ball on the run, usually finds a seam and gets some good yardage, but with 4 or 5 guys there from Millard surrounding him, he couldn't find anything. Almost tried to stop and cut it back. No room to go, so South Summit will take over, and Jones keeps it this time. He's got a little seam up the middle. He's going to pick up good yardage. Ty Jones, he's going to look like from the spot just be about a half a yard short. He'll pick up 9.5. It'll be 2nd and short.
All that motion in the backfield, there's just too much deception for the defense. I can't even follow where the football is.
I mean, you always got one man going quick, wide, and left. You got Averett always coming at you hard, and then Jones can really pick where he thinks he can either hand off, he can find a seam. Like you said, it's tough. So this time Jones is going to keep again. He's going to pick up the 1st down as Santos got hit hard on the fake handoff. And Jones will pick up about 3. It'll be 1st and 10 for South Summit. Ball now at the 44-yard line of Millard. That's always the tough thing about if you're the decoy. Generally, you're going to get hit at some point. And a big backer came up the middle to hit Santos pretty hard.
That was number 50, Walker Swallow. He's a big guy.
He is. And so 1st and 10, South Summit. Tillett this time goes in motion. Jones is back to pass. He's got a man up over the middle, Brady, but unable, just overthrew him a bit as Brady was streaking across the inside of the field. Sails over his head. It'll be incomplete, 2nd and 10. Brady's a good-looking receiver out of that tight end spot. Brady, a 6'4 junior, 220, and a nice target for Jones to see as he pops up out of that line and just able to, or unable to get that ball into his hands as it'll bring up 2nd and long. Ball's at the 44-yard line. Tillett goes in motion. And this time he keeps again, and he's got some room. He's across the 35 to the 30. He's cutting it back, gets some good blocks. He's at the 15, still maneuvering. He's inside the 5, Ty Jones. What a run as he goes 44 yards, maneuvering his way the whole way with good downfield blocking from those receivers, and he just kept picking his way, finding a seam, and drug a man or two into the end zone. Touchdown, South Summit. It's a 13-0 lead.
That was an amazing run by Jones. Left, right, left, right. Woo!
Tell you, he's a slippery runner and was able to slip in for the touchdown as Georgie's kick is up and good. And Georgie's 2 for 2. South Summit's 2 for 2 on offensive series. It's a 14-0 lead. And these seniors getting off to a great start on senior night. South Summit leading by 2 touchdowns. We're back as Georgie kicks another booming kick into the end zone. It's a 14-0 lead, 3 consecutive kickoffs by Georgie, the senior kicker. And one more time, Millard starts at their own 20 as this game's looking too familiar to the last 2 to 3 home games as South Summit's gotten out to early leads. And Millard has not done themselves any service here by giving the ball up twice to South Summit. And South Summit has scored quick on both possessions. 14-0 lead as Millard needs to get something going offensively. Cranny's dropping back, looks to his left, fires one down. He's got a man on a comeback, but falls incomplete. Ball sails out of bounds. So it'll bring up now 2nd 10 as Millard trying to find some plays that can get some yardage. Establish here a drive where they can try to keep the South Summit offense off the field.
A little different throwing your second deep ball after your first one was picked off like that. Probably why he threw it out of bounds. Was a little worried about the defenders there.
Yeah, he's a little gun shy, I'm sure. He delivered one good pass here on the flats onto the right side of the field. But it looks like there's going to be a timeout on the field. So Millard trying to figure something out. We'll take a break as South Summit continues to lead by 2 touchdowns. Millard timeout. All right, out of the timeout, Millard comes out with a handoff off the right side, picks up some good yardage across the 25-yard line. Ball carrier is number 20, Brunson. He's going to pick up 6, so good play out of the timeout for Millard. It'll be 3rd and a very manageable 3 short 4 yardage for Eagles in desperate need of a first down as they've been unable to secure a first down thus far and certainly don't want to give it back to this very good South Summit offense. So big play here for the Eagles. We're at 6:21 left in this first quarter. South Summit off to a great start. And Millard now will roll left. Cranny trying to pass. He's got a man, and it's just off the fingertip of number 11. Nope, that's not him.
41, I think.
41, Paco Alcala. And so had a man there just a little high out over his fingertips, and it's going to fall incomplete. Bring up 4th down, and Millard punting back onto the field as Santos and Tillett back again for the Wildcats. So 3 consecutive turnovers for the Eagles, 2 on downs, 1 by an interception. And South Summit looking to get a big return again as Millard back to punt. This time a little bit shorter but high as he angles it out of bounds, and it falls out of bounds right at about the 40, marking it off. He's marching to the 47, 48, 50. Now he's going back into Millard territory. So at the 49-yard line of Millard, so not probably the punt Millard wanted. It did prevent any South Summit return, but once again, South Summit's got the ball in Millard territory at the Millard 49, and they're back on defense again. South Summit got a lot of options here on the offensive side as Ethan Miles out wide to the left. Got Zimmerman into the ball game. As Jones is back to pass, he's going out wide to Brady. Brady gets a nice catch. He jumps over a man. Nice up-end tackle there by number 8, Kyle Bartholomew for Millard, but Brady will pick up about 5-6 yards. Ball's at the 43-yard line. It'll bring up now 2nd and 3. So nice little pass out to the big tight end. Jones had a lot of men open right there.
Good extra effort there by Brady to pick up a couple extra yards jumping over that defender.
So 2nd and a long 3, short 4 for the Wildcats. Clock continuing to run, 5:34. Jones is going to keep. This time he's able to get a yard or 2. Better job there by Millard plugging up that option as Jones has kept on several of these thus far. He's going to get the ball out to the 40. It'll bring up 3rd and 1. So Jones, after a great run last time, 44-yard run, And Millard, I'm sure, paying a little more attention to him, which just now will open up something else for this offensive attack for South Summit. Averett's probably really liking that if they're going to key now on Jones, and that's what makes this offense so dangerous. All right, this time they go to Averett, and there he is. He's going to pick up the first down, and he's moving the pile forward. Colby Averett gets hit at about the 38, 39-yard line, ends up falling at the 35-yard line. Would be a great stat if we could have it of yards he makes after contact. Always seems to get positive yardage. It'll be 1st and 10 for South Summit at the 35.
You hit it right there. They were focused in on Jones, and Averett just hit the hole on the right. They weren't expecting it go to him.
As Ethan Miles will bring in the play for the Wildcats. South Summit continuing to march. Has not been stopped yet by the Millard Eagles. Third offensive series. 4:26 and counting in this first quarter. In motion goes Zimmerman. Now he goes back out. Gets a little swing route and waiting right there. Number 11, Skylar Cranny, as Zimmerman saw him coming. And probably a good thing he didn't catch it, because with a good tackle would have lost yardage, as that was kind of a little flare route out to the left side. And Zimmerman saw that one coming, let the ball go. It'll be 2nd and 10. Always a tough one when you got a ball in the air and a defender flying right at you.
Sometimes you say to yourself, why didn't he catch that? But it was definitely the right idea not to.
It's always funny because the coaches always say, well, you're going to get hit regardless. You might as well catch the ball. But when it's negative yardage, like you said, not a bad decision. Looks like South Summit's going to try to take a timeout as well. So with 4:15 left in this first quarter, South Summit decides to take a timeout. South Summit leading 14-0, 2nd and 10, ball at 35 when we return. Okay, back. Ball at the 35-yard line. 2nd and 10 for South Summit. And South Summit will come out into a little bit of a new set again, as they have lineman on the left, lineman on the right. Tillett behind the two linemen on the left. This time they're going to go right up the middle, spreading it out, and Jones has got big yardage again. He spins. He's down to the 10, 9-yard line. Great play by South Summit out of the timeout. Spread that Millard defense on both sides of the field, and Ty Jones just gets the snap and charges right up the middle. He's going to pick up about 25 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 for South Summit at the 10. Looks like they'll give him goal, 1st and goal, as they drop the yardage markers. Same formation. 3 linemen up front, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. This time they go to the left. Santos, he's got a chance, but a great open field tackle by number 3 for Millard. Excellent tackle by Austin Wardle. He's going to hold Santos to no gain, where it'll bring up now 2nd and goal. This is kind of a unique formation. Spread all over. You got 2 big gaps just left and right of the ball. This time Tillett goes in motion. Now Jones has got a man wide open across the middle. Touchdown, South Summit. That's Ethan Miles, I believe his first offensive touchdown of the year. Great job by Miles, as Jones delivered it right on the money on a little seam route right up the middle. Touchdown, South Summit.
Well, that's nice to get it to the senior on his last home game to give him a touchdown.
Absolutely. Ball was drilled right into his belly, right perfectly in a spot that Ethan put his good hands on it. Goes right into the end zone. Harley Georgie's point extra is good. And with 3:26 left, South Summit leading 21-0. Off to an unbelievable start again, as it would be interesting to see what the stats are of South Summit first quarter scoring. It's got to be phenomenal, as South Summit has had huge first half leads on American Leadership and Gunnison, this being their 4th home game of the year thus far, and once again they're putting up big numbers in this first quarter. The first game of the year was against Park City, much more manageable score, as Park City, a big 3A school, kept South Summit in the 20s for the entire game. But last couple of home games have been over very quickly. In fact, been over in this first quarter, as they've been up 4, 5, 6 touchdowns in this first quarter. This time South Summit up 21-0, and it's looking like a carbon copy of some big wins for South Summit. So Georgie, one more time, as Georgie was in the felt facts this week in the Deseret News for one of only a few players in the history of high school football in the state of Utah to kick 8 extra points in one night. He's got 3 of them again tonight, as Georgie's kick will this time be taken at the 8-yard line, and it'll be returned up the center. Good return this time for Millard as he gets the ball out to 35-yard line of South Summit, where Millard will take over. 1st and 10, still looking for their first down of the night, and would like nothing better than to get a few on this drive. So South Summit kickoff team doesn't often get a chance to cover, so it's probably a good chance to work on a couple of things as the South Summit D's back onto the field. Millard now in a little more of a traditional option, 3 backs behind him. This time he'll hand off to the deep back, and he's hit by several South Summit defenders behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose about a yard. Several Wildcats coming out of the bottom of that pile. And it'll be now 2nd and 11 for the Wildcat, or for the Eagles.
Saw Matthew Brady come out of the backfield there and just wrap him up, not let him go one more yard. Good job by Brady there.
Yost coming out of the bottom of that pile as well. Several involved, as this time now Cranny will go out of the shotgun. Has some protection, trying to find a man, comes back. Good pass there by Cranny, and he's going to extend the ball out to the 40-yard line. Good comeback route. And the pass is completed to, trying to see the number there. Looks like number 1. Is that number 1?
Might be 3.
At any rate, nice play there by Millard. He's going to bring up 3rd and 4. South Summit has been very stingy on the defensive end thus far, hasn't given up a first down. And Millard looking for one here. Ball out to the 40, their furthest progression of the on a series thus far. So Cranny up under center. Full house backfield, 3 backs. He's going to keep, and he's going to pick up the first down for Millard. Nice job there by the Millard line, giving him a great seam, and it was nice that lead back led him the way, and Brunson just stayed right on his back. Picks up about 7 yards on the play. 1st and 10, Millard.
I don't know if you caught that, Cody, but it looked like Paco Alca and who's the quarterback there?
Cranny, yeah.
They were both holding on to the ball at the same time for about 10 yards there.
It was a teamed effort right there, as you said, both of them going right up that center. And that option gets a little dangerous when that running back doesn't know whether to take that ball or let it go, but it works for Millard this time. And this time it doesn't, as it goes up the middle, and he's hit immediately as he was handed the ball off. And that is Ruvalcaba has no chance right there, loses 2, and it's going to bring up now 2nd and 12 for Millard. You got Mike Yost, one of the inside tackles. Matt Brady on the left defensive end. That right tackle, trying to decide who that is. We'll get it. I think it's Castona, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll get to it shortly as Cranny now is going to look to pass. Rolls to his right, turns, comes back. He's got a man wide open and just overthrew him a bit as number 3, Austin Wardle, had beaten his man on a deep post route, but unfortunately for Millard, Cranny unable to put it on the money. It's going to bring up now 3rd and long for the Eagles.
I saw breaking out of that right side. That was Ethan Miles you were trying to pick up the number of. He was putting some pressure on the quarterback. Might be one of the reasons he overthrew him.
Yeah, had to hurry it a bit, as Wardle had a step on Rockhill that time and unable to come down with the pass. So 3rd and long situation for Millard. 48 seconds left in this first quarter. And a tough spot here for the Eagles. And Cranny's going to roll to his right. He's going to have to tuck it a little bit, and he's pulled down from behind. Sacked by Daxton Hansen. as Daxton came from that inside linebacker spot, drug him down from behind. It's going to be 4th down for Millard. Great pursuit there by Daxton Hansen.
You take the right angle there going to the backfield. That's all you need is the right angle.
Cranny tried to pull up and pass it, but Hansen gave him no time to do it. It's a punting situation for the Eagles, and Tillett Santos will get another chance. This time, nice high kick. Great kick there as it's called a fair catch. Takes a good, favorable Millard bounce. It's bouncing down to the 15-yard line. Beautiful punt this time by Millard, as it's about a 45-yard punt, no return as it goes from the 40 down to the 15. Great punt. Good coverage there by the Eagles. So this time South Summit's going to have to go 85 yards instead of inside Millard territory already. South Summit's going to get one play off. There's 2.3 seconds left in this first quarter. And South Summit out to a big 21-0 lead. So Jones continues to always go in that shotgun. He's going to keep this time. Kicks it out left. He's across the 15 to the 20, out to the 21-yard line. And he'll pick up about 6-7 yards. It'll be 2nd and 3 as this first quarter's over. South Summit leading 21-0 after 1. So we switch ends of the field. South Summit now will be moving south back into the north side of the field. Ball at the 21-yard line as Ty Jones picked up 7. He's back to pass this time. He's going up over the middle and almost picked off there by Millard as he flew across the ball path, and Tillett unable to come down with it. Good coverage there by the Eagles. Bring up now 3rd and 3. Ty Jones has shown these last few games some great touch as he's able to drop some balls in over the top. That one just a little overthrown, and there was good coverage as well there by Millard. So it'll bring up 3rd and 3 for the Wildcats.
Probably a good thing that was overthrown.
Yeah, as there were guys underneath the route. So, and Millard's going to jump again, a little eager, as very good discipline up front for the Wildcats as they're able to go on multiple counts, and they'll pick up an easy 1st down on a 5-yard penalty. It'll give the Wildcats the ball out to the 27-yard line, 1st and 10.
You know, Cody, I've only done about 4 games, and I have not seen our offensive or defensive line cause too many penalties. You're right when you say the good discipline.
Yeah, they do a good job. Always, specifically on defense, man, it's not hard if that ball's right in front of you. You just got to block that quarterback out. They do a great job. This time they pitch to Tillett, and Tillett's across the 30 trying to get to the corner. He's driven out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. He's going to pick up about 8, and it'll bring up 2nd and 2 for South Summit. Great speed coming both sides. You got Tillett coming one way, Santos going the other typically. Zimmerman comes in often. And a lot of speed and power in Averett up the center as well. So Georgie will bring in the play this time. South Summit got an option to do a lot at 2nd and 2. Ball's at their 35. 11:46 left in this second quarter. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. This time Sidaway goes in motion, and Jones is going to be tripped up on the fake toss coming back underneath. Great play there by Millard.
Number 23, Tyler Gamble, was in on that tackle.
Great job by Gamble as he holds South Summit to no gain, where to bring up now 3rd and 2. It's not often Jones goes down quickly, and it was a beautiful, good technique tackle as he wrapped up both legs, and immediately going down was Jones. So 3rd and 2 for South Summit. Again, big weapon in the backfield, number 32. Rarely gets held under 2 yards. So let's see what South Summit, if they decide to go to him. And they do. There's Averett, hard yardage, always falling forward. He gets out to across the 41-yard line. And that'll be another first down for South Summit as he picks up about 6.
I'd like to know how many times he's been tackled in the backfield this year.
It's too bad we don't have an unbelievable half a dozen stat crew, because we could throw some good ones at you, I'm sure. That would be a good one to know. I'll tell you, North Summit last week did about as well as I've seen of holding Averett in check, but just too many weapons to hold them all. But Averett still got close to 100 yards, but they really keyed on him. Ball's on the ground, turnover. South Summit has a little difficulty on the exchange. And this time South Summit will put the ball onto the ground, and Millard comes up with the turnover. So Millard gets a big turnover from the Wildcats. Might keep them into this ball game early in the half.
Was there a flag on the play?
I thought I might have seen one, but I
don't know if that was the marker or the flag.
Can't decide. Looks like they're calling an illegal shift on South Summit. That'll be declined. So it'll be a turnover. And South Summit certainly doesn't want to get into that habit either. Generally been quite good with the ball, but they put it on the ground this time, and Millard now gets a chance into South Summit territory. Cranny sends a call in motion, hands off to Brunson. Brunson's going to be held up right at the line of scrimmage, nowhere to go. Bring up 2nd and 10.
Look at all those Wildcats on there that were in on that tackle. They weren't fooled by where the ball was, were they?
They were not. Up front, as we said, Brady and Miles on the ends. Yost and Costona, 2 inside tackles. At the linebacker spot, Georgie, Angel, Hanson, and Averett. So Rock Hill, Santos, and Zimmerman in the backfield. Back to pass. Cranny across the middle and almost picked off as ball almost into Santos's hands. Just kind of hits the ground as he was diving for that as it was overthrown. And Santos almost comes down with the interception. It'll bring up now 3rd and 10 for Millard. Santos has had some interceptions this year. Almost had another one right there.
Great effort.
So another tough 3rd and long for the Eagles. And this time goes to the option. They pitch left. Georgie does a great job. Sheds a blocker. Meets him head on right at the 40. Beautiful play by Harley Georgie. And he holds Millard to a no gain. In fact, may have lost a half a yard. It's going to be 4th and long for Millard.
Too bad. That's the best field position Millard's had all day, and they weren't able to capitalize on that.
That's just how you draw it up, as Georgie had contain out on that side. He kept shedding a blocker, made the running back decide which side of that blocker he was going to go, shed him, hit him right in the middle of the numbers, drove him back. It's 4th down, and Millard looks like they want to think about this 4th down. So we'll take a break. 9:15 left, 2nd quarter. South Summit still up 21-0. So a big 4th down for Millard in South Summit territory, deciding to go for it on 4th and 10 as Cranny trying to get him to jump. They don't. He's got some time trying to find a man. He goes across. Nice pass, and beautifully done there by Millard as they pick up a big 4th down. Good little comeback route. Jesse Robinson gets the comeback and is able to squirm out for the 1st down yardage. It'll be 1st and 10, Millard.
Looks like I spoke too soon, didn't I, saying they weren't able to capitalize. They're moving the ball now.
That was a great job as that receiver came back perfectly, caught the ball about a yard short of the first down marker and was able to squirm out of a tackle, fell forward, picks up 2 more yards, 11-yard pickup, needed 10, first down Millard. Cranny rolling to his right. Now he's got to get out of trouble, and Brady drags him down. Matthew Brady with the sack. And that'll be about a 7-8-yard loss. Ball's all the way back now to the 40-yard line, 10-yard loss. Brady doing his job again on that defensive end, was not going to let him outside. And Brady with a big defensive play puts the ball back where South Summit had kept Millard before on the 4th down. And they'll start at the 40 again. So now a long situation, 2nd and 20 for the Millard Eagles. Had a lot of room if he was able to get out of the reach there, Brady, but unable to as they hand off up the center. Good hard run this time by Alcala. And he'll pick up about 6. And will bring up now 3rd and about 14 for Millard. So good run there. Picks up, makes it a little more manageable. 14 yards to go instead of 20. And once again, probably in 4-down territory. So if they could probably try to cut this in half again, get 6, 7, 8 of it again. So now a 3-back set in the shotgun, which you don't see a lot of, as now some protection for Millard. And Cranny trying to go deep. He's got a man trying to come back to it. And a lot of contact down there, but good coverage by Zimmerman. He breaks the play up. It'll bring up 4th and 14.
I thought Zimmerman had his hand on the defender, but right away he turned around and looked at the ball, so it looked like he was going for the ball.
I think you're exactly right. I think initially it looked like some PI, but he turned just in time with his hand up, kind of minimized what looked to be some contact, and wow, Millard's going to try a field goal. Woo, this is a 51-yarder. Ball sitting at the 34. 51-yard field goal attempt. He got the leg to do this, as now there's going to be jumping, and it might march off 5, just as we talked about South Summit defense. I think it was on South Summit. Yep, and South Summit jumps. Not a huge problem unless this kicker's good from 46 instead of 51, as it looks like now they'll move it up 5, so it'll bring now 4th and 10. Ball's at the 30 will make us a 47-yarder instead of a 52-yarder, 51-yarder. So the kick's down. Big, deep leg. It looks up and good. Wow, unbelievable good kick there. Was that Alcala?
Yeah, it was.
Alcala with a beautiful kick. That thing would have been good from 52 as it was high and deep. He splits the uprights. One of the better kicks we've seen all year as Millard's on the board. 21-3 with 7:19 left. And we'll take a break. So Millard now getting a chance to kick off after a beautiful field goal by the Millard Eagles, 47-yarder, and had the leg to be good, well over 50. So Millard now will get a chance to kick off to South Summit. 21-3, kind of putting their fingers in the break of that dam as South Summit was getting close to breaking this thing open. A little bit of a technical problem here on the field. So they'll get it worked out on the clock.
Going back to that kicker, Alcala, on his previous punt before he kicked that field goal, I timed the hang time was 4.25 seconds in the air. That's pretty good for a high school punter, if you ask me.
Got a good leg from both punting and the kickoff. Now from the field goal, now it looks like he'll kick off for Millard. So South Summit will get a chance to return one, providing it's not in the end zone. It's a low liner. It's going to take a hard bounce, and it goes to Santos. Santos having a hard time, bring it down, and he's going to now get a chance to return. He's across the 20 and just barely out to the 21-yard line as it was a low, hard liner. That football bouncing all over the place. Santos got a hand on it, keep it in front of him, did a good job of staying cool, picked the ball up, got it out just barely across the 20. It'll be 1st and 10 for South Summit.
It was a little scary there for a second, that ball bouncing around like that. I think Santos was a little worried himself.
I tell you, you don't get true bounces on that football, especially coming that hard on the ground. So South Summit, 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. In motion goes Santos, and they hand up as Jones decides to keep. And Jones is going to pick up only about a yard. And so South Summit now 2nd and 9 as Millard's starting to make some adjustments both on the offensive and defensive sides as they're able to first get a turnover from the Wildcats, now doing a much better job on the defensive side of minimizing the big plays from South Summit. 6-11 halfway through this second quarter as now Millard's gone basically a full quarter without giving up a touchdown. So doing a much better job as this time they will keep and now pitch out to Tillett. Tillett's driven out of bounds at about the 27, 28-yard line. He'll pick up about 6 or 7. It'll bring up 3rd and a couple for South Summit.
You said it, Cody. I mean, they've made the adjustments both on offensive and defensive side, and I think it really helped their confidence when we fumbled the ball back a couple plays back.
Certainly has, as South Summit now has had to work much harder on this offensive end to get yardage. 3rd and 2, they've gone to Averett, and both times they've been 3rd and short. As they go to a much tighter set, they go to Santos, and they hand off to Averett. Averett, good hard yardage, and he picks up about 7. It'll be 1st and 10 out to the 34-yard line. So once again, Mr. Reliable on 3rd and short always seems to pick up the yardage. And they'll move the chains, continue the drive, and burn some of this clock.
I was able to watch Averett last week on KJazz for the North Summit game, and it was pretty exciting to watch how good of a player he is when he hits that hole.
That was a beautiful broadcast last week. I was stunned at how clear of a good pitcher that was last week. Kind of exciting to be on there as Jones pitches off to Tillett. Tillett cuts it back, spins out. He's across to the 44-yard line, right at the 1st down marker. Good pitch by Jones as he was getting taken down. Able to get the pitch off. Looks like they'll mark him just short. Ball they'll place back at the 48. It'll be 2nd, or is it 3rd? 2nd and 1. Excuse me.
You're right. That was a very nice broadcast. And speaking of that, we just got the approval today to get our wireless cameras, which will get us down to the field for next season. And we're very excited about that here.
So that'll be fun as well. Give you a few different angles. Looks like there's going to be a penalty on South Summit as both Tillett and Santos went in motion. Little miscommunication. That'll drive now what was a 2nd short to now 2nd and 6 for the Wildcats. Not as clean as South Summit's played at times, but it's okay. Good time to be working it out.
Probably only because I said, look how little amount of penalties they make, and that's what happens. I'm a Jets fan, Cody. You know, I don't bring very much luck to green and white football teams.
But you're a true fan. You stay with them. If you're a Jet fan or a Raider fan, you got to be a true fan, right?
That's right.
Of course, I'm a Cowboy fan, and we've had a rough 20 years too. But this year has been a little more optimistic. South Summit, 2nd and 6. And Jones now resetting a little bit. Now he's got 2 men in the backfield. Not something you've seen much of this year. Wide pitch left. They go to Santos. Santos cuts it back. He's hit hard. Great tackle by number 7, Dane Myers of Millard. Beautiful tackle on Santos. And he's really going to get barely back to the line of scrimmage. May have lost a yard. It'll bring up now 3rd and a long 6 for South Summit.
Seemed dangerous, though. That pitch looked a little long, and Santos had to reach out with his left hand and one-handed to bring it back in. That could have been a lot worse than a 1-yard loss.
Santos has great hands, has done a great job catching the ball this year as well as running the ball. And always a pretty good bet. If he can get a hand on it, he's going to bring it in. So great point as Santos will check out for a minute and get a breather. 3rd and 6 for South Summit. Zimmerman this time goes in motion. Fake left, right. Jones is rolling right. He's got a man wide open. 2 Miles, and Miles drugged down from behind on a beautiful play out across the 30-yard line. And that's going to be about a 26-yard pickup as beautiful pass from Jones to Ethan Miles. How about Ethan picking up 2 big catches this senior night? It'll be 1st and 10, South Summit.
Good for him. He had burned the cornerback, and it looked like the cornerback was expecting the safety to pick him up, but the safety couldn't get there in time.
Beautiful throw there by Jones as he was running pretty quick on the run out to the right-hand side, delivered it right on the money, and Ethan Miles having a great night. He's picked up a touchdown earlier and a big first down right there as South Summit moving now as this second quarter is getting close to an end. And inside now Averett dragging defenders again. He's across the 25 down to the 23-yard line. He's going to pick up 7. It'll bring up 2nd and 3.
Good to see the offense driving down the field again.
As we mentioned, Millard made it much tougher. And this time South Summit having to work hard to score. 2:50 left, second quarter. Zimmerman in motion. This time a pitch to him. He's got a chance to get that first down. He gets to the corner. Great job, Quinn Zimmerman, across the 20-yard line. He'll step out of bounds at the 17-yard line. He'll pick up the first down inside the red zone again for the Wildcats. It would be a great job to run this clock out and score. 2:38 left in the second quarter. And a good spot to be, about the 17. That'll give them another chance. Get a first down inside the 10. So 2nd and 3 for South Summit.
Great awareness by the South Summit runners to know when to turn it up the field. I mean, it looked like he was about to run out of bounds and all of a sudden turned it up for 4 or 5 yards.
Zimmerman's got great speed as well as he goes in motion again. This time a reverse, and they hand off to Tillett. Tillett's got a chance. He cuts it back, and he's going to roll inside the 5 to the 2nd yard or to 2-yard line, 3-yard line. Little trickery there from South Summit as they pitch to Zimmerman. Zimmerman handed off to coming back Tillett, and it'll be 1st and goal for the Wildcats.
Good job Tillett holding on to the ball at the end there with that tackle was pretty hard. It looked like it was about to slip out of his hand, but you could see him tighten up his grip when he hit the ground.
Nice play there from the Wildcats. I haven't seen that one this year. Starting to open up this playbook a little bit. Jones looking to throw left, and he's going to go to Brady, unable to come down with the pass. Not much of a window there. Good coverage by Millard on the play, and I believe that's number 14.
Ruvalcaba.
Yeah, as he's on the good coverage there, as Jones did a good job of not getting that one picked off, because that could have been a play where he could have gotten some big yardage going the other way. So it'll bring up now, stopping the clock, 2:11 left. 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. This time Jones decides to keep, and he's going to sneak his way in. Touchdown, Ty Jones. 4th touchdown on the night for the Wildcats. It's a 27-3 lead now. Good drive by South Summit as they march the majority of the field. Little by little chipped away, and now we'll get a chance to extend to a 25-point lead with the extra point from Georgie. One of those drives you like to see where you burn some clock, churn it out against a tough defense that's made some good adjustments. And Georgie will get a chance for his 4th extra point of the night. It's good, and with 2:07 left, South Summit out to a commanding 28-3 lead. .207 left in this first half on senior night. South Summit having a great first half and out to another big lead, leading 28-3 as Georgie will kick off for the 5th time on the night. Georgie, one of the better kickers in high school football, as he boots a big high end-over-end kick. It's deep and will be taken right at the goal line. And coming out with it, he's got a lane. Millard with a good return out to the 32, 33-yard line, as the official looked like he was unsure whether to call it a touchback or not. He looked like he had a foot, one in the end zone, one on the goal line. Allows him to bring it out, and Millard benefits from the decision, picks up good yardage out to the 32, and Millard has just under 2 minutes to try to score here in this first half.
Great patience by the return man to wait for his blockers to get in front there. Gave him an extra 10 yards on the return.
Absolutely. Good job there by the return team, or the kickoff team for Millard, is now they're going to try to get some yardage on the ground. Colby Averett and Harley Georgie able to trip him up about the 35. He'll pick up 3. And it'll bring now 2nd and 7. Millard not in any big hurry. 1:40 left in this half as they're going to a full huddle and bringing a play in from the side. So not much of a hurry-up offense on this play, as they're maybe going to try to chip away on a couple plays, see if anything springs before they decide to conserve time on that clock. They certainly don't want to give South Summit another chance with the ball. They'll hand up right up the middle. Good yardage this time. Out across the 45-yard line. Ball carrier was number 44. Garrett, was it 44? Looked like 44. At any rate, good pickup. First down for Millard. They pick up about 10 yards on the play. So 112 now and counting, as Millard's going to have to make a decision about what they want to do, whether they're going to burn clock or really try to score here. Probably not going to do it on dives up the middle. This time they pitch left, and not going to be much room this time. Beautiful play again there by Georgie, holding that corner till he got help from 45, Porter Fitzgerald, to finish him off. And so that will keep him in bounds. He'll lose a yard. It'll bring up now 2nd 11 with 46 seconds and counting.
That might make them decide to go a little slower, run out a little bit more clock there.
Yeah, that'll probably decide it for them. Because if they want, they'll only have to run one more play. As 31 seconds and counting, and Millard content here to go in, trailing 28-3. As now they're going to go to the draw, and a good opening, but with now, good hit there, as Daxton Hansen closed the gap quickly on Brunson. And that looks like it will be the last play of this first half as South Summit. Great start to senior night as they lead 28-3, and this clock is going to run down. They're going to maybe try to get one more play off, but I don't think they're going to. And somebody called a timeout.
Guess you can try the Hail Mary. 2 seconds to go. They're at
so kind of an interesting decision, is they basically let it wind, and then all of a sudden with 5 seconds they hurry up and try to get a play off, then call a timeout. So 2 seconds left in the half. As we mentioned, a lot of seniors playing their last regular season home game tonight on senior night. We'll go over those list of seniors
as you're looking at
halftime.
Let you know, I just saw Daxton Hansen kind of come off the field a little hurt. He's getting some attention over there on the sideline. That was a hard hit he gave the last time, and looks like he did something to his arm.
Yeah, it was a lot of contact. It was a lot of helmet on helmet, and hopefully he's going to be okay. So 2 seconds left. Last play of this first half, barring a offensive or defensive penalty. So we'll see what Millard decides to do out of the timeout. Under center will be Cranny. Sends a man in motion, and they hand off up to center, and he's tripped up. An interesting decision, but they got a few more yards. Averett picks up the tackle. And with that, South Summit goes into halftime with a 28-3 lead. We'll take a few minutes, allow you to enjoy some halftime entertainment. We'll come back with some seniors playing their last night of football at South Summit under the lights. Go over those names with you and have third quarter action here in a few minutes. Thanks for joining us. South Summit leading 28-3. All right, welcome back. On a senior night at halftime, we'll go over our football players for the senior class of 2014. You have Hunter Angel, son of Shari and John Angel, Colby Averett, son of Jason and Missy Averett, Chris Costona, son of Randall Costona and Leona Gonzalez, Jesse Cummings, son of David and Jennifer Cummings, Harley Georgie, son of Mike and Tammy Georgie, Daxton Hansen, son of Niall and Kim Hansen, Ty Jones, son of Kirk and Lorraine Jones, Jackson Lee, son of Todd and Glory Lindley, Ethan Miles, son of Nathan and Amy Miles, Thomas Pace, son of Sean and Susan Pace, Logan Powers, son of Shane Powers and Jennifer Powers, Hunter Reese, son of Greg and Ginger Reese, Halen Rockhill, son of Justin and Allison Rockhill, Bracken Santos, son of Joe and Stacy Santos, Luke Sidaway, son of Gary and Heidi Sidaway, Michael Yost, son of Jim and Amy Yost, Quinn Zimmerman, son of Jonathan and Shannon Zimmerman, and Brian Butterfield, the senior manager, son of David and Cindy Butterfield. So a great senior class, won a lot of football games, and could be, if things go well, one of the two classes in the history of South Summit to win back-to-back state championships. And things looking good if they can stay healthy and keep things moving forward. Great opportunity to be able to play again on that last day, and with things going well, have a great opportunity to bring back-to-back trophies. We hope for it, and we'll look forward to that opportunity in November. Got to get there first, so a lot of stuff still ahead of South Summit in the future, so we'll look for that tonight in the last 2 quarters of football, and then the quarterfinals will start here at South Summit in 2 weeks. I believe the game is scheduled to be on Halloween, on the afternoon of Halloween, October 31st, so that's still pending, but that's right now the tentative schedule for the first playoff game. And then the following 2 weeks at Weber State, the semifinal round, and SUU, the final round. So a lot of football still ahead, about a month we hope for South Summit. So we'll take one more break about 3 minutes before this game gets underway in the third quarter. South Summit up big, 28-3. We're back. Third quarter action about to start. Other games in the state going on in 2A North. Gunnison trailing Summit Academy 35-0 just before halftime, and North Summit beating Layton Christian 20-0 at halftime. The other 2A games must have been played last night because they're not listing any 2A South games. So,
a couple schools still go through this week. They don't have
maybe
Thursday
they have
and
some
Friday. They
on.
might, yes.
So no 2A South games being played tonight, at least according to the Deseret News. So all the 2A North schools are playing tonight, but no 2A South. So stay tuned into the paper to find out when those are, or on the website. So Millard will be kicking off to South Summit to start this second half. Big booming kick, and it'll be taken by Tillett as he allows it. Well, it kind of slips through his hands, and it'll go into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and South Summit will start in the north end zone at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 as they lead 28-3 in this third quarter to begin the last night for these seniors under the lights here at South Summit High School. There'll be an afternoon game for a quarterfinal playoff game here in a couple of weeks, but the last time these lights will be on these seniors here at South Summit. So hopefully it'll be a good half for them as they start 1st and 10 at the 20. And one of the more successful senior classes here to go through South Summit, building on a big South Summit State Championship last year, a good chance to repeat again this year. Won a lot of football games the last 3 years with many of these kids, and they'll start with Ty Jones keeping it, and he's got a lot of room. He's out at the 30, across the 35 to the 40. He'll run out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. Good pickup to start the second half. 21 yards on the run. It'll be 1st and 10, South Summit.
You're saying one of the better senior classes to come through. I'd have to say I work with a lot of kids in academics, and this senior class has really shown that they have a lot of intelligence as well, not just athletic skill.
Yeah, I'm sure that helps them out here on this football field as well, as this is a pretty complex way of playing football, and it's a way that they're able to do a lot of things, and like you said, there's some good students out there as well as good athletes. Good pitch to Santos. Santos has got some room. He's across midfield at the 50 to the 45, and he'll go out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. 2 big runs to start this second half as a great pitch again from Jones to Santos. Picks up another about 18, 17 yards on the pickup. 1st and 10 into Millard territory. Ball's at the 43 on the left hash. Big chunks start off this third quarter as South Summit coming out pretty motivated. This is the first time many of these kids have been able to play in a second half here at South Summit. Now ball's on the ground again as Jones unable to hold on the fake handoff, but looks like he got back on top of it. Fortunate for the Wildcats as the ball one more time hits the ground on a fumble. This time South Summit able to maintain possession. Will lose the down, obviously. It'll bring now up 2nd and 10, and they lose about a half a yard on the fumble.
I'm sure Coach Parker's not too happy about that.
Just a lot of people going a lot of different directions. That ball gets held out a little too long. It gets bumped by a hip or an elbow and trouble bruise. So South Summit will now start and comes on the counter to Santos. Santos cuts it up, and he'll pick up about 2 to 3 yards, gets it close to the 40, just inside the 41-yard line, where it'll bring up now 3rd and long 7. And Santos comes off a little ginger. Looks like he may have twisted an ankle or something, as he's had a little bit of an ankle problem throughout the year. Certainly don't want to get anybody hurt too badly tonight. Will be nice if they can win tonight. They will get a week off, and with the break for the next couple of days would give a chance for some people to heal a little bit. So Jones now looking to pass this time, trying to go up high and deep, and he's got a man, but overthrown. Halen Rockhill had broken away, but overthrown Jones is on the pass. It'll fall up short, and it'll bring up 4th down now. 4th and 7 for South Summit. We'll see if they go for it or decide to punt. Mass substitutions coming in. Looks like they're in a punting situation. Or they may even try a real long. Nope, looks like it's going to be a punt. So Harley Georgie back to punt for South Summit. And much like Millard, with Alcala doing much of the kicking duties on both sides, punting and kicking for Millard. Harley Georgie doing both for the Wildcats. Georgie, big high kick, trying to pin him deep. Ball will hit at about the 15. It'll take a South Summit bounce and rolls inside the 10. Beautiful job by Harley Georgie. Ball will rest at the 8-yard line. 1st and 10 for Millard, so great job on the punt team. And that's one thing we haven't seen much either, Jeremy, this year, are many South Summit punts. As about every time we've done a broadcast, there are a few times South Summit has not scored, at least with this first unit in. So good chance again for that punt return team. They did a great job pinning them inside the 10. So Millard will start deep in their own territory.
For not seeing too many punts, they do a pretty good job at it when they do. Get them inside the 10-yard line there.
And that's one thing that's always a huge key, and I thought it was one of the big advantages South Summit had last week down at North Summit, is their kicking game really played a huge advantage for them last week. So we'll continue to do so in the playoffs as Millard hands off, and not much room off the right-hand side as South Summit, Hunter Angel, Matt Brady there pick up the tackle. He'll pick up a yard or two and move the ball out to the 10-yard line where it'll be now up 2nd and about long 8.
Saw that bright orange hair of Daxton Hansen in there as well on that tackle.
Glad Daxton's feeling better. A couple of guys have come off with what appears to be a little bit of a sprain or a bump or something. And luckily it doesn't seem to be anything real serious for either one.
Looks like they just taped up his right hand there. That's what I saw him working on.
Santos is back there as well at the safety spot. 2nd and 9 for Millard as they send a man in motion, come back with the handoff, and nothing there as holding on to legs inside as Colby Averett first on the tackle and cleaned up by a couple more South Summit defenders. He'll get no yardage on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 9. A stiff defense. South Summit's one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the entire state of a point differential in terms of win-loss. They're winning by an average of about 42 points per night, and one of the higher scoring teams in the state as well.
And if you think about that, Cody, they take out the first team offense usually after the first half.
You're right. I mean, it could have been even bigger because some of those games we haven't scored in either of the second halves in both ALA and Gunnison. So you're right. That's a great point. So, all right, on 3rd down, Millard chooses to run the ball one more time. They get the ball out to the 15-yard line, about 5 yards short. It'll bring up 4th and 5. So one more time, Millard, kind of reminiscent of the beginning of the first half, having to punt deep in their own territory. That's going to give South Summit great field position. Zalcala, great punter, as we mentioned earlier, but still he's going to have to kick the ball 50, 60 yards to get any kind, and he has a nice punt. It's going to be taken by Santos at the 45, and they're blowing it dead. I don't know if they thought he must have called for a fair catch. Usually you get a penalty if you run off after doing that. They didn't throw a flag. So it'll be 1st down for South Summit at the 47-yard line where they'll take over. Good punt again, as that's about all you can expect out of a ball you're kicking from inside your 5-yard line, and to hold them in their own territory at the 46. Good job by the Millard punt crew. South Summit will take over again on the punt.
It's nice to see Georgie have some competition in the kicking game. This Alcala gentleman has a pretty good foot.
Unbelievable field goal. The only points is Ty Jones keeps, and he's off the left-hand side, and he's sliding around again to pick up big yardage. He'll pick up about 16, 17 yards. Will move the chain. 1st and 10, South Summit.
There was a flag on the play. I thought I saw a hold in the backfield there. Let's see.
Yep, there is one down. So here the official coming out to make the call. It's going to be a holding on South Summit. So big penalty. That's a spot foul as well. So they're going to move that way back. So it'll be now 1st and about 20, 21 yards as the ball's all the way back to the 36-yard line, where it'll be 1st down again, but a long ways to go. But Jones has been getting big yardage, as Tillett did as well last time, then got held up inside Millard territory. So big yardage here for South Summit on 1st down. Ball's at, we said, the 36. 7:52 left in this 3rd quarter. On the counter goes Santos. Santos trying to find yardage. He's across the 40 and close to the 45-yard line. Drugged down. He'll pick up about 10. Gets close to half of it of the 1st down marker to go. So bring up now 2nd and about 12, 11. So good run by Santos.
Usually with 1st and 20s, teams have to come up with other plays in their playbook, but South Summit's offense picks up such big chunks at a time that you can just stick with what you've been doing the whole game.
That's pretty nice to have. Has a lot of different sets, a lot of different formations. This time they'll go to the draw. And Averett spins. Beautiful. He spins again, and he's dragging tacklers. Look at that. All the way across the 45 to the 44-yard line of Millard. He picks up 12 yards. 1st and 10, South Summit. Beautiful run.
He ran about 8 yards there with an extra 200 pounds on his back.
Just dragging people as he gets so low, and he just looks like a workhorse pulling a plow, man, as he goes and goes. Great job there by Averett. And like you said, 2 runs, 22 yards combined, 1st and 10, South Summit. They make a 1st and 20 look pretty easy at times, don't they?
They sure do. It's fun to watch.
All right, so 1st and 10, South Summit. And this time, Jones looking to pass, goes across the middle, wide open. And Ethan Miles has got a chance to go. He's going to score. Ethan Miles having the game of his career tonight with his 2nd touchdown. And did a beautiful job running that ball into the end zone. Little slant route, hit him right in stride. Looked like a little bit of a broken coverage. Ethan gets around a couple of men. He goes about 40 yards on the play. Touchdown, Ethan Miles.
Great job by Ethan there. He cut that ball back infield, right down the middle, just to make the defender step on his feet a little bit, cut it back out to the outside, right in the end zone.
What a fun night for Ethan Miles, man. He'll remember this his life as he's had 3 beautiful catches. And Harley Georgie bangs in his 5th extra point of the night. South Summit having all kinds of luck tonight. 35-3 and a big lead. All right, back. 35-3 lead for South Summit, and Georgie booms a kick. It's going to be taken right at the goal line. And Millard returning, and once again, he's got a little room, and he's out across the 30-yard line, doing a good job bringing that ball across. This time it is looks like number 1, wasn't it?
I didn't see, Cody.
All right, so good job there. One more time of the Millard return team getting the ball out to the 30. And Millard will take over 1st and 10. So 6:19 left, 3rd quarter. South Summit having another great successful night. It's been a very successful home season this year as they'll go 4-0, providing anything goes crazy here. So Millard trying to slow things down offensively for the Wildcats as Cranny goes out and big hit. As coming in, making the hard hit was Zimmerman, I believe. Great hit, but it looks like they're going to call a personal foul, and probably just because it looked like a pretty hard hit.
I didn't see any helmet-to-helmet contact
there. It was under his arms. Mm-hmm. At any rate, sometimes it just looks bad, and so they call a penalty, as he certainly wasn't up by the head. Good hit there by Zimmerman. Tough hit for Millard there, but looks like receiver will be okay. They'll march off 15, 1st and 10 for Millard on the 15-yard penalty from South Summit. What looked like from our angle, a good hit there by Zimmerman, breaking up the play. And the handoff now will go up the middle to Brunson. Brunson tries to break a tackle or two, and he'll get out to the 50-yard line. Good pickup. Picks up about 4, where it'll bring up 2nd and 6.
On a hit as hard as that one was, Cody, if it was helmet to helmet, that receiver would not have been able to just jump back up on the line of scrimmage like he did.
Well, that's been the trend in football in the last few years with so many concussions, and I think it's well intended, but sometimes a good play gets penalized just because it looks rough, and that's unfortunately the nature of this game sometimes. And Zimmerman, I think, a little bit of a victim of that, but nonetheless, good technique there by Zimmerman, but now South Summit having to hold on third down as Millard brings the ball across midfield to the 48-yard line. About 3 yards left for a Millard first down. 5:20 left third quarter. South Summit still leading 35-3. And Millard trying to put a drive together. South Summit getting close to the running clock rule. One more score, and they'll keep that clock running as any time over a 35-point lead in that second half. The clock continues to run. We're at a 32-point lead right now. And they'll pitch right. And trying to pick up the first down. Looks like he's going to get it. Nice run there by number 2, Kevin Maua. And he'll pick up the first down close to the 40-yard line. Nice pitch, nice run for Millard. They'll move the chains, 1st and 10.
I think he picked up about 10 or 11 yards on that run.
Yeah, he had some good speed. Got to that corner, turned it up, and excelled through a little bit of a tackle there at the end. Picked up nice yardage. So Millard's gone to several running backs, and they seem to have quite a wide variety of guys they can go to in that backfield as well. They could get the time. 4:49 left, 1st and 10 for the Eagles. And Cran, there's some movement. Not going to call it, I guess, and they dive it up the middle. That running back went a little early, but nobody threw a flag. So he's going to pick up no yardage, so bring up now 2nd and 10. Millard now in South Summit territory for the second or third time of the night. Haven't gotten the ball really any deeper than where they kicked that field goal, which was at about from the 30-yard line. So they've been here in the 30, 40-yard area a couple of times. Haven't been able to get close to the goal line. Full house backfield, 3 in the backfield. 1 goes in motion left. They'll hand off right up the middle, and he's going to try to pick up a few and does. Picks up about 3 or 4. Moves the ball out to the 36-yard line. And it's going to be now 3rd and about 6.
Millard offense has something going here. They've had a pretty solid drive so far.
Burning some clock. Moved the ball pretty well. Starting to find a few openings in this South Summit defense.
That 15-yard penalty helped
yeah,
too, didn't it?
That doesn't hurt by any means. And a good kickoff return always gets you headed in the right direction, as they've started at the 30 a couple of times when Georgie has not gotten the ball into the end zone on that kickoff. So 3rd and 6. He's going to try to roll left. He's in trouble, and down he goes. Sacked by Brady again. A couple of times Brady's had big sacks when Cranny's tried to roll right. Brady says, you're not getting outside here, sacks him, drives him back for a big loss of about 10, 11 yards. It'll bring up now 4th and 15.
Was that Brady or was that number 51, Colton Crawford?
I thought it was Brady. It might be 51. I thought it was 81, but
no, I think it was 51. Yeah, that was Colton.
Excellent. Colton Crawford looking a lot like Brady on that left side. Makes a nice play. So I think you're right. It is 51 out there. So nice play, Colton. As a couple of defensive ends making nice tackles on that left side, and Millard's going to have to punt. And Alcala, big high end over end punt, and Santos calls the fair catch right at the 15. 1st and 10. It'll be South Summit.
Another beautiful punt by Alcala there.
One of the better punters and kickers we've seen this year. So deep in their own territory, the Wildcats will start inside the 20. 2:31 left in this third quarter. South Summit has scored 1 touchdown this half, and will get a chance to score again. They have 85 yards before they could do that, and Jones is going to keep. He'll pick up just a couple. As the Millard defense, since South Summit got up to a quick 21-0 lead, they led 21-0 about halfway through that first quarter. And since that time, Millard has done a much better job only allowing 2 scores in the last couple of quarters. Been a lot tougher going for the South Summit offense. So give Millard credit, as they have made some good adjustments. Jones hands off to Averett, tripped up, beautiful play. So consecutive nice plays by the interior defense of Millard, and they're going to keep South Summit now in a 3rd and long situation, 3rd and about 8, with the ball sitting at about the 19-yard line.
You're right, Cody. That first quarter, if you take away the first 7 minutes of the game, it's only a 14-3 ball game. But fortunately for South Summit, the first 8 minutes happened.
Yeah, it did, and give them credit. They jumped all over Millard early, and all started with a big Halen Rockhill interception on the first offensive play of the game, and he took it all the way back to about 10, 11-yard line. South Summit scored quickly, and this time fake pitch, and Jones is going to get the first down, and he's going to get all the way out to the 30. Good pickup, about 11, 12 yards on the play. They needed about 8. So great job there by Ty Jones. He's got a lot of yardage running this game. He'll pick up the first down. It'll be 1st and 10 for South Summit. Little update on the scores around 2A North. Some big scores going on. Summit Academy leading 49-0, and North Summit up 20-0 on Layton Christian. Jones spins, goes to Averett. Averett's got some room, and he's going to crush for some hard yardage out to midfield, right out to the 50-yard line. He's going to pick up 19 yards on the play. Another first down for South Summit.
You know, Averett only picked up a half yard on that last run. I don't think he was very happy about that. Took it out on the Millard defense on his next run.
Big yardage, biggest run of the night for Averett, as he picks up close to 20. Ball sits right at midfield. Clock continuing to run. 36 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. Could be the last play of this 3rd quarter. As there's the penalty, however, and a false start movement on South Summit. So that'll march him back 5. Been a few 5-yard penalties tonight thus far. So it'll bring up now 1st and 15. They'll march it back to the 45. So South Summit, probably 6, 7, 8 penalties on the night. 3 or 4 too many. You're not going to have any, but you don't want to get close to 10. And some of them have been the 15-yard variety. Some of them probably not warranted, but be the last play possibly here. As we mentioned it again, they go to Averett, and Averett gets hit hard. As one of the few times we see Averett driven back, he got spun around a little bit. Hopefully he's okay. As Averett gets up a little gingerly, that's going to end that 3rd quarter. As hopefully he'll be all right. We'll take a break. 1 quarter left on South Summit's regular season here at home, leading 35-3. So a little strange having a timeout right out of a quarter break, but we had one, so a little bit longer break as South Summit now goes to the fake pitch, and Jones tries to cuts it back, and he gets back to about the line of scrimmage. May have picked up a couple of yards. Ball's out just across midfield to the 50, and it's going to bring out now 3rd and long for South Summit. So ball's just inside the Millard side of the 50-yard line. Looks like South Summit may have had a little bit of a broken play as Ty Jones was looking possibly to pitch, had to cut it up underneath. And we'll see now what they call on 3rd and 9. So Ty Jones has not put the ball up in the air only but a handful of times. Several of those going to Ethan Miles. Had a great night. And Jones is going to pitch, and Tillett's got some room. He's got a chance, and no one's going to catch him. Isaac Tillett's going to go all the way 49 yards on a beautiful pitch from Jones. Touchdown, South Summit.
Amazing run by Tillett. I can't believe the lightning speed that kid has.
He gets out in the open field, and he's quick, and I don't believe anybody even touched him, as it was beautiful blocking downfield and pinned very well inside. Nobody really trailed, as one linebacker had a chance but just couldn't get there quick enough. Tillett outruns everybody. Touchdown, South Summit.
I talked to him a couple weeks ago, and I asked him if I could pay him over the winter to teach my son to run like that. He said he'd try.
Unfortunately, that's a tough thing to teach, isn't it?
Yes.
Or there'd be a lot of fast guys, and he's certainly got some speed, as Georgie will try now another extra point, as he's up to 6 extra points. Been very accurate with the extra points this year, 6 for 6. And South Summit's now into that run the clock mode, as they're up now by 39 points, 42-3. As South Summit out to a very commanding lead and making quite a statement to finish off this region season, as Millard's played some pretty tough teams throughout the year. I'll go over their schedule a little bit, as they've made some good showings in some games around the state, especially some crossover games in other parts of the state. As let me get their schedule up right here. They only lost to Juab, who's a good 3A team, 14-0. They beat Delta 16-0. They beat the number 4 ranked team in the state, Enterprise, 44-22. Lost to North Summit 28-14. Only lost to Summit Academy by 4, 27-23. And they had convincing wins against Gunnison and Layton Christian. So this has been a pretty good team, and South Summit really having a great showing tonight and a good convincing win. So pretty good statement throughout the state that you're going to have to play well to beat South Summit, as Millard's a pretty darn good team to be able to get handled like they do tonight. So a deep kick by Georgie deep into the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. It'll be 1st and 10 for Millard. And that'll make for a much quicker fourth quarter with that clock running. So,
Cody, in high school football, when it's kicked into the end zone like it, does it have to be a touchback?
Yeah, it's an automatic touchback. Yep, they don't give them a choice.
So if you at least have your foot on the goal line, though, you can run it out.
That's what they've kind of shown tonight. At one time I thought if they had any in there, but I don't know exactly what the rule is on half in and half out. 1st and 10 for Millard. And in the shotgun, Cranny's going to drop back. He's got a little bit of time. Now he's going to scramble, and the hole closes quickly as South Summit with Castona in there quickly, as well as number 58. McCormick in there quickly as well, as they'll get the sack. They'll drive Millard back 4 or 5 yards, and it'll bring up now 2nd and 14. Zach Delagnola checking into the ball game as Michael Yost getting a break. So a few subs now starting to make their way into the ball game. 2nd and long for the Eagles. Cranny keeps, and he's going to be driven down. He'll pick up about a yard as he falls forward. And so it's going to bring up a 3rd and long situation.
Looks like South Summit has some new numbers in there on defense now. Slowly but surely they've been substituting those starters out, I think.
Jordan Miller, number 7's checked in. Number 8, Matt Lee's checked into the ball game. 27, Luke Sidaway is in the linebacker.
Number 2, Caleb Peterson.
Here comes number 67. Jackson Lee's into the ball game. As now we're going to roll right. Cranny, he's got a man. It's picked off. Luke Sidaway steps in front of the play, gets the pick. As Luke Sidaway immediately makes a contribution defensively, gets the interception, and Luke will get the ball inside to the 20. Turnover to the Wildcats. And just as some guys are getting in there, Luke Sidaway gets the interception, so it'll be now an opportunity for some South Summit offensive guys to get some plays.
Do you see the way Cranny threw that ball? Was that a shovel pass?
He was really trying to turn, rolling to his right as a left-hander, and he didn't get much on it. He had an open man, but it just kind of hung up there, and Sidaway made a nice break on the ball and did a good job. As now a lot of guys coming into the ball game, as Nick Beasley will come in at quarterback. And so it looks like that first crew will be done for the night as Beasley hands up off the middle. And the ball carrier is number 7, Jordan Miller, checking into the ball game. As we mentioned, Caleb Peterson also checking into the ball game at the wide receiver spot. Number 22, Hunter Reese in. Number 55, Jared Blazard in the ball game, who gets some good playing time usually as well. Trying to get a few more new numbers. As Beasley now on 2nd and 9, he's going to keep, and he'll get drugged down from behind. Good job there by Millard. And Beasley will lose 6 or 7 yards. Well, no, they'll give him forward progression at the 21-22, so he'll lose about 4 yards, and he'll bring up 3rd and long now for South Summit.
Beasley, he is a sophomore, correct?
Sophomore.
So that's how we're looking at next year, probably to run the show, huh?
Looks like he's second in on quarterback. He's a much different kind of a quarterback than Jones, much taller, kind of more of a throwing type of quarterback, as he does a lot of handing off, not quite as quick as Ty Jones, but much taller, sees a little differently, so a little different kind of quarterback. Jones has become very efficient at that position, getting the majority of the snaps over the last 2 years and has run this offense very well. I'm sure Nick has learned some good stuff from Ty, and it's good to see him get some experience right here as it's now 4th down for South Summit. Looks like they're going to give a chance for a field goal. And who they got kicking the field goal here? Is it Georgie?
I don't think it's Georgie. It's
it's Santos, number 10. And the ball's down, and it's tough snap as it was bobbled. And Matt Lee having a tough time handling the snap as it's bobbled, and Santos unable to get it up onto the end of the air into that goalpost. So it'll be a turnover to South Summit. And that'll give Millard a chance offensively with 5:53 on the clock and counting. And so, as we mentioned, several new players into the ball game. Number 67, Jackson Lee, into the ball game. Get some new guys in as well. And the handoff goes to Millard, and good room up the middle. And he's going to get out to the 35-yard line. Nice run there for Millard. They'll pick up about 15 on the play. It'll be 1st and 10.
I wish we had an instant replay, Cody. I'd like to go back to that kick by Santos. I really think that Lee never really had possession of that ball, and Santos made the right decision to kick it, or else that could have been a turnover.
I think he just kicked it as it was laying oblong right on the ground. Just went squibbing through everybody's feet. I think you're right. 5:03 left, 1st and 10 for the Eagles. And a handoff up the center. And good job there by the South Summit interior D, holding him right there at the line of scrimmage. And it'll bring up now 2nd and long for Millard. Still trying to find the new numbers in there. Hard to see. So we had Jordan Miller in on the play right there, number 7. Hunter Reese is now back in the safety position.
Matt Lee's over at the cornerback, the left corner, it looks like.
Number 2, Caleb Peterson, over at the right corner. And we're going to have a handoff up the center. Good room. Tripped up there by Luke Sidaway, but he'll pick up the 1st down. He'll pick up about 11. So nice run for Millard. Another 1st down. and they're getting close to midfield. So a little more room here up the center for Millard. Chance to run the ball here a little bit, and giving this South Summit defense some good looks.
First and 10 for the Eagles.
Difference between strength, agility, and speed from upperclassmen and underclassmen, it's tremendous. That's why they're able to pick up these big yards at a time here.
And again, several South Summit defenders pushing that Millard guy back, and Luke Sidaway came out with the ball. And now he's going to throw a flag because they're going to call a delay of game, it looks like, as Luke came out with the ball, started running towards the end zone. He dropped the ball 25 yards behind the play, and a flag came out. Not sure that was needed. We'll see if they call it or not. And they are going to call it delay of game. So that'll march off 5 yards. That's going to give Millard a first down. So 1st and 10 for the Eagles. I'd like to see that one up close if you had a replay to see at what point he came out with the ball. As they kind of stood him up a little bit, so they probably called his progression halted. Hard to say when they blew whistles, but Luke was running with the ball the other direction.
That's all I saw. I would have kept going to the end zone.
Hey, that's maybe when all your cameras will work well. We can start using some replay. You got him down on that field.
We'll get it going.
All right, nice pitch out to the running back, Brunson. He's got some room and has got a chance, and Brunson's going to go the distance. Touchdown for Millard on a 51-yard play, it looks like, or about a 46-yard play. Touchdown for the Eagles. Nice run there by Brunson with 2:41 left. Millard gets their first touchdown of the night. He had some good speed getting through those defenders as well. Made away on the left side of that line, cut it back. Good blocking downfield, and Millard's on the board as Alcala will try the extra point. And it's a good kick, up high, right down. Nope, he missed it.
Wide left.
Just barely wide left. So missed extra point. That brings our score to 42-9. We'll take one last break with 2:16 left. South Summit still leading big. .216 left on the last night football game for South Summit on senior night. And a lot of seniors having a great night tonight. Kickoff from Millard will be a low line driver. It's taken right at the 20 by one of the up men, and he's going to get back to about the 35. Good return. Trying to see
it was Santos.
Yeah, it was Santos up. Generally, he's not right there, so good hands there one more time by Santos. He gets the ball up to the 35-yard line one more time. He looks a little ginger coming across. This time it looks like he's holding his hand a little bit. So 1:49 left in the ball game. Few plays left for this crew of Wildcat offensive players as Beasley in one more time for this offense. See who they give a chance to run the ball. In motion goes Zimmerman. They come back on the counter. And this time he's hit hard right at the line of scrimmage. Falls forward for a yard or two. And the running back on that play is number 27, Luke Sidaway on the run. He'll pick up about 2. It'll bring the ball out to the 37-yard line. 1:14 left in the ball game. So, as we mentioned, with the win tonight, South Summit will be the 2A North region champions. And that will give them the number 1 seed, obviously, and will give them the bye next week. And so they'll have about 10, 11 days off before about 10 days off before they play again. Tonight being the 15th, and they won't play again until the
15 days off.
Yeah, you're right. 15 days off because it's 2 weeks from Friday, basically. You're right. So quite a few days off here, as no game next week because of the bye, the 2 days off in the upcoming days, and then all the way to the end of the next week. So hopefully anybody that's hurt, bumped, and bruised will get healed up. Hopefully they won't get too rusty with the long break off. But it's a veteran, senior-heavy group, so my guess is they'll be just fine. Somebody's going to have to travel from that south part of the state to come up and take on the Wildcats. As hard up the middle, a good hard run to the 41-yard line. And that will be the last play of the night. So on senior night, South Summit has a big convincing win to secure the region championship. Congratulations to South Summit. They'll continue to be the number 1 ranked team in the state, be the region champs, take on the number 1 seed, and they'll play a quarterfinal playoff game right here at South Summit on the afternoon of Halloween is when it's scheduled right now. My guess is anywhere between 2 and 5 is my guess. Stay tuned for that schedule. I want to thank Jeremy Fierro, Jex Rummel, Tyler Barton, Jordan Howe.
That's them.
And that's been our video crew tonight with the help of Mr. Jeremy Fierro, bringing you all the technical work. And we appreciate you supporting South Summit Athletics. Thanks to All West for their help in broadcasting as well. And we appreciate your support. And join us again for the quarterfinal game in 16 days on October 31st. South Summit gets a big win tonight on senior night. They win 42-9. Have a great weekend.
We also want to